Gary, you will be keynoting at PHP UK in February 2026. What will your talk be about, and what will we learn from it?
Yeah, hi Dave. My talk is called It Depends, and it's a look at the compromises we kind of make every day in our working life. So whether we think about them or not, we're constantly making compromises about what we do. So do we roll our own implementation of something, or do we use a library that we can download using Composer, right? So a lot of these questions where there is no right or wrong answer, it's like a slider about the risk that you want to take. And yeah, my talk is considering some of those, maybe some of the decisions we make subconsciously without really thinking about, and some of them that we definitely think about. And yeah, just trying to put them front of mind during the development process.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people have like very set opinions on the correct way of doing things.
Correct.
And actually, maybe in that particular context, they are right, or their answer is more right. But then they'll put some message out there. They'll do a blog post. They'll do social media things saying you have to do this.
Yeah.
And often that can cause a lot of tension. It's potentially because they might not be right in other situations. Is that?
Yeah, I think a lot of the things that I talk about or I'm thinking about are nearly all of the time it's a good idea. For a very good example is, should I use a framework? And probably 9 times out of 10 or 99 times out of 100, the answer is yes, I should use a framework. But I feel like we default to saying Laravel new, maybe, when maybe there's a better solution to the problem that you're facing. And also maybe Laravel new is the right solution to the problem that you're facing, but having to think about it rather than just doing things by default is kind of what I'm aiming for.
Excellent. And are we going to throw some controversial things in there, like the use of final?
It's not going to be that specific, but I mean, I'm not going to set out to offend anyone. I never do, but I would imagine that if it makes some people think about opinions they have, then yeah, I'll see that as a win. I don't think it'll be controversial per se, but I do think that it will hopefully make people think about maybe things that they don't currently think about.
Mm. Excellent. Yeah, I think it's very important, isn't it? I mean, especially when you worked on the same project with the same team for a long time. Often thoughts of doing things differently, just you don't come across those new ideas. So hopefully we'll all be challenged in a positive way in your talk.
That's the hope. It's not just sort of technical either. It's some of the more soft skills will be some of the topics as well. So it's not just this or that. There's a couple of grey areas that I want to kind of envisage. I'll give you a little spoiler. Like maybe one of the sliders will be my own morals and my own love of money. Like how far down the love of money would I have to go before I would work for, let's say, maybe a gun manufacturer. Let's think about, like, I always say, oh, I'd never do it. I have morals, but like if it was life changing for 3 months, would I do it? These are the questions that we'll kind of be asking.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, I look forward to having that question and the answer. And you've spoken at PHP, or you've been to PHP UK Conference, and you've spoken at it quite a few times. So for people who've never been to the conference, what is PHP UK like?
It's fantastic. Yeah, it's the biggest PHP conference in the UK. Certainly the biggest generic PHP. I don't know if there are more specific, bigger conferences in the UK, but it's the biggest one I've been to, and I absolutely love it. The people who go there are really, really enjoyable to see. Some of the biggest kind of influential people in the PHP space will be there, both speaking and attending. I absolutely love it. It's in a very interesting part of London. At least it used to be. I guess it's in the same vicinity. We'll find out. But yeah, I absolutely think it's a special conference for me in the calendar. It's like one of the conferences that, because I'm based in the UK, whether I'm speaking or not, I always make a real effort to attend.
Excellent. And as well as the talks, there's also kind of the hallway track. And maybe people, when they go to conferences, they think it's all about the talks. But do you ever get involved in what is the hallway track? Do you ever get involved with it? Do you kind of like chat to lots of people and find that useful?
Yes, I've definitely there's been periods of my speaking career where I've spoken more than I am at the moment, and having been to a number of conferences in a year, I tended to hang out in the hallway track more than I did in the talks, mainly because I'd seen most of the talks before, which is a humble brag, I guess. But yeah, it is what it is. I love it. Like some of the best ideas we've had in the open source community have come out of conversations we've had over lunch or in the hallway track at conferences. So it's where I've made some real friends, some people I don't just call kind of, colleagues or people I meet at conferences. I definitely call them real life friends. I've been met and solidified in the hallway track. So always very special. I would always recommend going to see the talks first, but if there's nothing that takes your fancy, then yeah, having a nice chat in the hallway is always a good second option.
And should people be like nervous about going up to like having a chat with some of the speakers or like the greats in our world?
No, the speakers love to have a conversation. Like honestly, that is probably my favorite part of speaking. Aside from the ego boost of standing on a stage in front of people, like my favorite part is the conversations with people afterwards. It's really interesting to me because I attended a lot of conferences before I got up on stage the first time, and I was always like really wary about approaching a speaker. But now I'm completely understanding the fact that they are just the same people from the community who have something to say or have the ability to get up on stage and talk about something. And the same applies, right? It's the speakers absolutely love to continue the conversation. Like the topic that they're talking about is obviously something they love because they're talking about it on stage. And so if you come up and want to continue that conversation afterwards, they're going to be passionate about it and want to speak about it. So yes, do not be nervous to approach speakers in the conference. They absolutely always enjoy the conversation.
Right. So if I came up to you and said, Gary, that was an incredible talk, can we keep chatting about it? You'd love that.
Yes, I would. And you will do that, Dave. So that's fine.
I will do that. Yes, absolutely. So you work for Roave and they are one of the sponsors. Tell us a bit about Roave for those who haven't heard about you.
Yes, so we are a software consultancy firm, largely in PHP, but totally polyglot. We've just come off a huge Java project in the fintech space, so we do all sorts of programming languages. We actually met at a conference. It wasn't PHP UK, it was at DPC in the Netherlands, but a very similar vibe conference to PHP UK. We're having a beer outside at one of the socials, and we were all building a brand as consultants independently and decided it would be easier to kind of pool our resources and just build a brand together rather than duplicating effort. So yeah, we're available to hire. We do a lot of kind of project rescue or upgrades. Like if you're stuck on php.legacy or laravel.legacy in particular, we've done a lot of upgrading of those projects recently.
Excellent. So if people are in that position and maybe they're working for a company that needs a bit of support, they can come and find you and have a chat about it at the conference.
Absolutely, yes. We'll be branded up. It'll be fine. You'll find us.
Excellent. Excellent. So I'm looking forward to seeing you at PHP UK on Friday, the 20th of February, 2026.